Hi there, and welcome to Nicole's Creative Adventures. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, quilting, sewing, and other random things that I might want to talk about. If this is your first time watching, I just wanted to say thanks for joining me and checking out my podcast. I really appreciate this. I also hope that it inspires you, makes you feel like you actually know quite a bit about crafting, because I'm definitely no expert. I just love to make. And if you're a returning viewer, hey, I appreciate you coming back. I'm so sorry for the delay. It's been I'm a week overdue. I usually try to podcast every other week, and I had said that I wasn't going to podcast on Easter weekend, and then the weekend after that, we just had some multiple losses in our family. So yes, so things have been a little rough, but I'm grateful for everything that I have and my family, and so we're just um, really hopeful. I believe that God's in charge and that His plans are greater than anything I can ever expect. So, but nonetheless, um, here I am, and yeah, I have quite a bit to talk about, but I don't think I'm gonna go crazy long today. So first things first is I was mentioning all the ways that you can follow me in my podcast kind of outline at the beginning. And what I'm going to do is just throw up a slide. I'm going to throw up a slide um, at the beginning and then at the end of my podcast. You might have already saw that. That just kind of shows the ways that you can follow me or get more information on where to get show notes and that kind of stuff instead of me listing it out. Um, I do have to say the one thing that is the hardest about being a podcaster, I think, is the editing. It takes time and it's tedious. And maybe it's because I don't have the best video editing software, but I have a free one, so I'm going to continue to try to use that. And it's working for me now. So keep an eye out for those slides, and then you can find more information to follow me. And let's see what else we got to talk about. Oh, in the past, I've been kind of slacking on my podcast appreciation. So I've caught up quite a bit in the last few weeks. There's been some time for downtime, and I'm not wanting to be too social. So I'll watch podcasts, and I'm really grateful for all those really great people who want to share their inspiration, their creativity, and what they're making. And it's just been really relaxing to watch a lot of those. So the two that I try to do two each week, and the two that I want to acknowledge this week, I think I've already acknowledged Danny from Little Bob and Knits, but I just so relaxed when I watch her podcast. And I think, like my husband was even saying as he heard the most recent one in the background, where Danny had her mom in town, and they were doing a little podcast together, and they get to share their making together. And my husband's like, I don't even care what they're talking about. They just sound like what they're talking about is so important and so wonderful, because of their accents. And so I really like Danny. We have similar taste in some of the coloring and choices of projects that she chooses. Um, she inspires me. But anyway, she did this in this last podcast with her mom. I love that because her mom can knit, but her heart is in quilting. And so I appreciate that. And it was really great to see her show off her quilts she's working on, the handwork that she's doing, and then also the quilting project that she's been working on. And then Danny mentioned also she had a segment on her spinning and her story of how she got to the wheel that she has right now, which is actually the wheel that I have. And so in the process of um, researching spinning wheels when I wanted to buy my first one, I had heard that she had this wheel that I was looking at, which is um, by Woolmakers, and it's the Bliss. And so I had messaged Danny on Ravelry, and she was sweet. She got back to me and let me know that she really loves it, enjoys it, and so she was definitely an impact in me getting this wheel. And since then, I love it. I'm a newbie spinner, so I'm not blaming the wheel for pretty much anything that's happening when it doesn't happen exactly the way I want it, because it's all on me right now. It's all technique. And but I do love it. It's a joy. It's really quiet too, and it seems pretty effortless. But anyway, so Danny's been one of the podcasts that I always want to make sure I'm on top of. And if you haven't watched her podcast before, I'll put a link in the show notes. Um, and then the other one is, and I think she was probably like the second or third podcast I'd ever watched. Maybe the first, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe not. I don't know. But Susan B. Anderson, her podcast is, I think, Susan B. Anderson, and I'll have a link in the show notes as well. Her name is Susan, and she's so sweet. She is such a pleasant person. In an effort to quote Danny from Little Bob, and she's lovely. They use that word all the time, and I just think it's great. I don't think Americans use the word lovely for things that are beautiful or nice or wonderful. But anyways, Susan's lovely, and she, from right off the bat when I was watching her podcast, it was apparent that she was a toy knitter and designer. She designs the most cutest toys. I kind of want all of them, but I never really had a desire to knit those. I was kind of into knitting things that I would wear. And so recently I just realized, you know what? When you're a maker, there's this little side of you that makes you want to choose something new that you've never ventured into to knit. And although I believe that in my, my crafty New Year's resolutions for this year, I don't think toy knitting was in my trajectory. Like, is that even trajectory? Hey, why not? My projected trajectory of where I wanted to go making wise. But I think I kind of want to add it. And I think I want to make a knit along, not necessarily toy knitting, because I know that's just not for everybody. But I think in my next knit along, and I'll just kind of jump to that right now, I want us to, for those of you that want to knit along, the rules will basically be pick a project you've never knit on before. And when I mean project, I mean project type. So if you've never knit socks and you've wanted to learn to knit socks, pick that. If you never knit shawls, pick shawls, hats, gloves, toys, sweater, whatever. But pick something that you didn't necessarily think you were going to go into this year, but you just think, why not? It could be small project. It could be a large project. I don't mind. The whole idea is that we're venturing into something new. And, I purchased the Wee Ones Craftsy class by Susan B. Anderson, just because when I first jump into something that I've never done before, which is toy knitting, granted I'm a knitter, so I'm sure I can follow along, but I'd rather just knock it out of the park the first time and have a cute little toy and obviously, I'm going to say this, I'm planning on gifting the toy I make because I don't necessarily need toys. But you never know, you fall in love with something and it might stay with me. But the goal is that eventually that I would gift it. And I don't have anybody in mind that I'm making this toy for. I've also, sometimes when I start out to make a gift, I already plan ahead for it. Like, I know I'm going to make a quilt for somebody, or I'm going to make these, like, knit something for somebody. And so I do the planning, the yarn choices and everything are planned out, or the fabric and the pattern. And then sometimes you just make something knowing that you're not going to keep it, but someday you're going to be prompted. And I usually say either the Lord prompts me or it just makes sense. Like, that is why I made that toy, or that is why I made that quilt. I don't know why. I was inspired to make it. I was drawn towards it. But then I decided I'm going to give that away. And so that's kind of like how this toy is supposed to be. I'm going to make it, and someday it'll be revealed who I'm supposed to give it to. So I'm going to take that class. And in that Craftsy class, she teaches you to make a little elephant, a little hippo, and a little bunny. And so, hey, I want to knit them all, but we'll see how it goes. So anyways, for this cow, let's see, what do we want to call it? I want to say like knit. I don't know what I want to say. I'm going to come with that title later. I didn't put any thought into that. I just kind of came up with this right now. So there'll be a title. It'll be in the show notes. And maybe even on this video notes if I have time to think about it before I post this podcast. But anyways, we'll go into that. I'll also put something on Instagram that talks about the knitting. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's Sunday. The cowl that we'll be doing. And I think I'm not going to start it until today is the 10th. So we'll start it on my birthday, the 15th, tax day. And it seems like a good middle of the time. We'll start it on then. And it'll go because I want people to be able to start something. When you start something new, it might take you longer. So this is not going to be just a short month knit along. We'll make this 2 months long. That way, if someone wanted to attempt a little larger of a project, they don't feel like I have to get this done in a month. So yes, we'll just stop there. Okay, what I'm wearing, knitwear. So it's been raining a lot this weekend, which is good. It's April showers. In California, we had like, Northern California, we had like 82, 83 degree weather, Fahrenheit. Last week it was warm, but then this weekend it's like probably it's still warm. It's kind of humid. It's in the low 60s, and it's been raining continuously. It's not raining right now because it's tapering off, but like Friday night all the way through. I mean, all night long it rained. It wasn't like pouring, but it was consistent, and we need it because we're still in a drought. And my parents, they have a houseboat on Lake Don Pedro, which is a really nice lake. I grew up on this lake like every summer of my life. I've been on this houseboat and on this lake, and the lake was super low last summer and fall, like really low. And like a lot of lakes completely almost like they were so low they had to pull boats out and things like that, and they didn't have to do that for this lake because it's a really deep lake but it's low. And then my dad was just showing us pictures of where the lake level is at, and it's like it's like the highest it's been in probably 5 years, I think. It's high. I mean, it's not to the top, but it's like maybe 20 30 feet from the top level. So it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited about summer. But anyways, okay, what I'm wearing, Bella shawl. Was this my first shawl? I think this was my first shawl. So this was my first shawl. My show notes went night-night. And this is also one of my favorite yarns, this blend. This is Western Sky Knits yarns, and this is their Silk Merino blend, I believe. Let me just double check my notes. Yep. Silk Merino DK weight, and I used 1.75 skeins. So I bought 2 skeins of this baby. I'm so glad I did. And I'm going to throw up a picture just because I don't feel like taking this off, but you'll get the idea of the design. It's got this cool geometric kind of shape. It's really unique for a first time shawl, and it's really easy to make. And with this, I mean, I know I felt bad, but I have another skein of this same base, but I only have 1 skein. I needed 2 skeins because I'll definitely want to make another one of these. This was a quick knit too because it's DK, and I love it. But anyways, this was a nice one, and I like these warm tones. They go with lots of neutrals that I like to wear. Especially, this is more of my fall one, but because it's kind of cold today and muggy and wet outside, I thought, why not wear it today? Okay, that's what I'm wearing. Let's go to finished objects. Oh, uno momento, por favor. Okay, sorry, I had to go grab my one finished. Well, there's 2 finished objects, and they are project bags. Part of the last knit along that I did, I picked a winner. I picked 2 winners, but the first winner got a handmade project bag by me, and they got to choose their fabric or coloring, And so the first bag I made was for Carrie, my friend Carrie. And she, of course, didn't want to hand pick all her fabric. She just said, here are my color. Oh, actually, I had to push her. What are your favorite colors? And she said, anything with animal print. So her bag is on the way to her. She should be getting it this week. And I didn't take a picture beforehand, so sorry. But the other one, while I do, because for me, it's like if I'm gonna make one bag, I might as well just spend the time to make two because it's just cutting out fabric and sewing. And so I just realized out of all my own project bags, I didn't have anything with like bright, rainbowy, neon-y colors to go with some of these yarns that I'm attracted to, especially during the summertime. I'm going to be into these more, I think, brighter colors. So I made myself um, a medium size project bag out of this fabric, which was in a couple of podcasts ago. This came in to my stash advancement. This is Art Gallery fabric, and Avant Garde was the collection by Caterina Roccella. Caterina Roccella, I think it is, but I decided to give it an Italian accent. And then so I did a white zipper because I thought it just kind of looked more 80s. I don't know. And then this awesome orangey. The lighting is not perfect right now, but nonetheless, this pretty much has like tons of colors in it. So I'm excited about using this baby with some of my bright fabrics. Nice toss. Just fell on the floor. That's why I don't play basketball. So that was 2 bags I finished over the last 3 weeks. I've been really productive. Actually, I actually have been having like major wrist pain in my left wrist. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't hurt while I knit, so I'm assuming it's not knitting unless I really piss it off during the day by doing something, lifting something wrong or whatever, and then maybe the knitting is a little aggravated because the joints are maybe swollen or whatever. So I'm trying to figure it out. I used to be a massage therapist a long time ago, so I've literally massaged the crap out of this arm, and the whole arm is always super tight, and sometimes massage gives it relief. I've been wearing this really awesome, trendy, super cool wrist thing. This is my superhero wrist guard. You know, I just feel fantastic with it, especially sleeping. And even when but I don't feel relief because I thought maybe I was sleeping on work. Because there's been times when I'll wake up in the middle of the night and my hand is like this or something, or who knows what I'm doing, like against the pillow, or I don't think it's, see, I can't even, so the thing is, so here's the two, this is the good hand, this is the bad hand. So this hand can go up. This hand is hurting to struggle to do that. And even worse, good hand, bad hand. So limited range of motion. So I don't know. Pain all the way up here. Anybody like a doctor that watches the show? Pain up here. No wrist pain, no thumb pain or anything. It's usually this middle finger in here. And so there's a muscle that comes from this part here. That's literally the one that's supposed to be, that's doing this. It doesn't seem like, I mean, it's tight, but all of my muscles are tight in my arms because I'm a knitter and because I use computers. So I don't think it's carpal tunnel. Don't have those symptoms. But anyways, enough about that. So because of that, I've kind of not been knitting a whole lot because I've been trying to see if I don't knit, does it get better? And the answer is no, not really. So, works in progress. Let me drink my coffee. This is my new little mug I got at Joann's when I had to pick up something. It's cute. I just saw it and it had this, it says love inside. I don't know why, but for $3.99 it became mine. Okay, that was my little rhyme. Oh! I'm such a nerd. Okay, works in progress. Knitting. So, you might remember, if you were watching my last podcast, that I casted on some socks with this awesome, like, variegated dark tweed looking, I don't know what. Anyways, it was knitting up way too small. I guess I underestimated. I should look at the yardage. I think it was probably close to 500 yards soft yarn, and so Yeah, it was closer to lace weight. I just wasn't paying attention. So I knit the cuff and I was about this, like, I think I do small cuffs. I do about an inch because I'm short. And I probably got 2 inches into the stockinette. Actually, I was doing the blueberry waffle pattern, 2 inches into that. And I just realized this is not fitting. And I don't know if it was the best yarn for that pattern. It was kind of looking cute, but then I was like, so I frogged it. And then I decided to cast on a different pair of socks because I always have to have at least one pair of socks going. In fact, I tend to only try to have one so that I knock it out. But if I ever have two going, don't sue me. So and then in that last podcast, I had this was part of my 2016 Yarn Club membership for Sunrise. What was this for? Oh, this is my first Sunrise Fiberco sock. Well, actually, I think I did. What's a sock yarn? Just my yarn club. And I love this yarn. So I had said the surprise me type of yarn club, which is pick the base, right? And obviously the colorway will be the same, but pick the base for me, surprise me. And so for March 6th, this is the March 16th one, and everybody should have gotten their yarn by now because I've had this for 4 weeks now. The Spring Equinox is the color, and it was a Frolic Sport. So this is a sport yarn, but it's kind of a light sport. I call it a light sport, but it's a sport yarn. So this is it caked up and looks a little messy because I've been playing with this baby. I've been knitting. Oh, where's my end? There it is. Just super squishy, super soft, and I just thought it's Spring Equinox, and I love purple. I love teals. I like browns. It has all the colors I like. So I started knitting socks, and so I finished the first one today. So I have half of a finished object here. So this is the spring, vanilla sock pattern. I loved how the heel turned out. Sorry, I don't know if you can see, but because it's the slip stitch heel. Let me cover my face and it likes it better. Anyways, I love it. There's a little pooling right here because I did the heel. I didn't change yarns, but I just love it. And actually, I don't even think I did a full inch on this cuff. And it's kind of funny because I didn't pay attention. I've been noticing I have a problem with this. Hence the fact that I frogged the other socks. I get a little excited and I just think socks and I start knitting my normal thing. Well, this is a sport weight. Duh. So I started casting on 56 stitches, which is my standard, like if it's a normal sock weight, superwash merino, nylon, 425 yards. I'll cast on with 56 stitches because I tend to I have a skinny ankle and I wear size 5.5, 6 shoes, and I do have wide feet, but they're not necessarily large. Okay, so anyways, so I was knitting this on and I was like, oh, this looks a little smaller than I want it to. But granted, I was just knitting the cuff, and I thought, So I decided to go up to 64 stitches when I got to the stockinette, and they fit perfect now. And because this was done in the smaller stitch count, it's my ribbing, you know what I mean, 2x2 ribs, so it stretches. And I wouldn't say I have chicken legs, but I have skinny ankles, and so it works out. So I'm excited. This knit up so fast because it's sport. So I haven't even cast on my second one yet, but I look forward to doing that. My goal for this month is to finish 2 pairs of socks. And why? One, it's my birthday month, and so I should have 2 pairs of socks finished, right? But also at the end of this month, my husband and I are going to get some going away time, and we're going to go to a friend's cabin who is just gracious enough to let a bunch of us that work at their church to get away and get in the mountains. And it's one of my favorite places. It's Groveland, California, and I love it. So, anyways, we're planning on going away. We're only going to be gone for like 4 nights, but I plan on just knitting quite a bit there, and as long as my wrist doesn't give me a hard time, which I'm hoping it won't. So then I'm thinking I'll probably get time to get another pair of socks done. All right, works in progress number 2. So I had started this shawl a little while ago. Last podcast I had started it and gotten a little bit done, right? So this is the Merlot shawl by Eloise Dupont. Eloise Dupont with a T. It's a paid for pattern. I think it's about €5. I use the Sweet Georgia Tough Love sock in Auburn. And I'm using the Succulent Fiber Fingering Weight in Blossom. Okay. See, I've made a lot of progress on this. I'm actually down to the lace edging, and I think it might be applied edging, which I've never done before, so, because I was looking at the instructions, I'm like, what? What do I have to do? I'm a little worried. So I think last time I podcast, and I have my little, because this is a Merlot, right? And this is a French designer. So I used my cute little Paris stitch marker. So the last time I was through intro panel, first full panel, and then just getting into the third panel. And so since then, it's gotten pretty long. It's bunched up, of course. But I'm now down, finished the third, fourth, and fifth. And now I'm about to do this. I'm at like 378 stitches is how many are on this baby right now. I'm about to add the border, or the lace edging, sorry. And so, yeah, I was like, what? Cast on a double pointed needle on the edge. I think this is an applied border. I don't know. I have to read. I didn't. I wasn't in a location where starting that portion, because this is an easy knit. I'm telling you right now. So far, it's been super, super, super easy. So, but I'm thinking, I'm getting my work cut out for me on this edging here. So, hopefully by the next podcast, I've finished. That's the goal, and I'm really looking forward to it. So this was the Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock. And you'll see it is a very mild variegated brown, which it looked more variegated on the website when I purchased it. Or I want to say, is variegated the right word? I always get this word mixed up with variegated versus, who knows? But you know what I mean, like different shades of browns. Okay, variegation of the color brown, but it looked way more variegated online, and then when I got it, I was like, ah. But now that I'm seeing it with this cute like apricot peachy color in here, which was the Succulent Fiber Fingering Weight in Blossom, which was part of I think this was the Fiberista Sock Yarn Club. And anyways, I'm loving it, and so I'm thinking it's going to be really girly and pretty when I put it on later. This is a crescent style. So this is my first crescent style shawl. This is all I have left in the brown. So a decent amount. I probably could have got maybe 2, 3, 4 rows out of it, and that's it. And then I have tons of this left. So I can see this baby being used, well, maybe in something for a baby, or toes, heels for socks, because this is sock weight. So, and this is in this bag that I made. I think it matches perfectly. Okay. Quilting. Haven't touched any quilting. Bad girl, bad girl. I have been spinning though. So I got into my Spun Right Round Merino Silk Custom Blend wool top roving recently, and wow, this has silk in it. That's new for me. But I'm gonna tell you, this is it right here. Love, 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 love the colors. So I'm a new spinner. I've learned the short draw method. There's kind of two ways to do it. Short drawing like this, and then the other direction this way. Now, the long draw method I've learned, and I love spinning from the fold, but you have to use the right fiber for that because I've tried it with this and it did not work. This has a super long staple to it. This is my first time spinning with merino and silk. And so at first I was doing the short draw method and I kept finding myself going from skinny to chunky quite a bit. Now granted, there's a place for those super characteristic style yarns, right? But I was looking for consistency because I'm trying to spin a new fiber. So I think I found it in the long draw method or close to the raw. I mean, it's kind of a in between long draw and a short draw where I let the twist get up into the yarn and then pull back. Okay. But I do it pretty far and then I pull it in, and that could be because of my tension and how I have my wheel set. And I'm still kind of feeling that out. Nonetheless, I was getting to a point. Now look, this side is this not so good. When I switched to what I was doing on this side, let me pull back. Come on, baby. Come on, lighting. Well, anyways, you'll see that it's more consistent in here. And I'm really excited. I don't care if this is not perfect. I'm really excited to apply this with itself. And I'm going to knit something out of the sucker eventually. I'd say I'm a little more than halfway through the fiber. It's not a whole lot of fiber, but it's so pretty. Love the colors. Yay, spinning. And this time I remember to actually bring the bobbin over so you could see what I'm working on. Okay. But I can tell you what, I think it's the silk in this. Woo, is it messy. If you're wearing black when you do this sucker, you see all the like fiber all over your legs, so it's still cool. Okay. Stash advancement. Not very much, which is good because I kind of went on a yarn diet. I mentioned this in the past. Granted, this is my birthday month, but yeah, yarn diet. I felt like I kind of went crazy January, February, and into March. A lot of the stuff showed up in March. So I had decided that unless I get a gift card, right, for like Etsy, or I'm not going to buy any yarn or fiber this month. I'm just going to let any of the monthly clubs that I have bring me fiber or fiber and or yarn or fabric. So this was part of the Space Cadets Mini Skein Club. So if you did not get your mini skeins from March, this is the March club. They went out late. Then look away. But anyways, I do the gradient or the ombre they call it. So last time you saw pinks. So I have these really baby pinkies, and now they're moving into the oranges. Really love this one here. Sorry, these tags are annoying. Let's just flip it over. Because what I want to do someday is do my own sock yarn blanket, but I want to make it like a rainbow effect. And so every kind of color just pours into the next color, like starting in one corner and it just kind of pours down, I think. Or I might do ziggy-zag thing. Who knows? I haven't even thought that far ahead. But I obviously need lots of these mini skeins in advance so that I can plan ahead. So that's that. And then this is one that I was really excited about. So everybody and their mother talks about how much they love hedgehog fibers. I've never had a skein of hedgehog fibers. When I went to Stitches West, there was a booth that had some hedgehog fibers. I think it wasn't Stephen West, but it was the other Stephen, and it was his booth, and he had that there, and it was kind of, by the time I got there, it was pretty run over, and nothing was like standing out to me, and I didn't want to buy just a skein just because, right? So I don't know how, but I managed to get on their sock yarn club because I've tried to get on it for a long time, and then all of a sudden I could. So yay, I got my first 2 skeins of hedgehog fibers. Love it. All the way from Ireland. I'm 50% Irish, so this is kind of a big deal. So, and what I love is there's 2 skeins. There's 2 skeins of sock yarn in this club. 2 different skeins. I thought they were going to be 2 of the same skein. I thought that's kind of weird, you know. I mean, I could make a shawl out of it, but no, they're 2 different skeins. So, first one, very funky, very Stephen West to me, and the color is called. Oh wait, if you're part of this club and you didn't get yours. This was the March. Okay, but it's already April, so I'm thinking you probably already did. But the first color was called Float, and this is the funky one. Lots of some like blue, this great like watery blue, oceany blue, some black speckles. I know. Why do I describe it if I say don't look, but I'm describing it. This funky green, oops, over here. See if I get closer, if it does any justice. No, the lighting stinks right now. Oh, that's better. Very cool. Me likey. Don't know what I'm going to do with this, but it's cool. I kind of haven't ventured into like a lot of the stuff that Stephen West wears. I'm just like, I don't know. But I will work it out. I will get into that. And then this other one is my favorite one. It's called a Rift. And look at that. Isn't that neat? I just love this one end over here. Look at that. And then it's got this random reds in here, right here. I love this one. And I'm thinking maybe socks. I don't know. I mean, it is sock yarn. But I'm really looking forward to see how this works up. I think that hedgehog fibers will take me out of my comfort zone when it comes to picking colors and, you know, just, you know what I mean? Not being too planned out. That's cool. So that's it. First, oh no, just kidding, fabric. Monthly club. You'll kind of notice I'm part of these monthly clubs. Reason being is that I tend to pick colors that are more, I tend to pick the same colors a lot, like my favorites, like purples and things like that. So in order for me to be inspired by other color genres, patterns, and things like that, someone creates something that I've never seen before and send it to my house. And then I'm forced to either 1, venture into that world and use that, or 2, gift it, or make it part of a prize or something like that, where I think if I would never just use that, then someone would. You know what I mean? So, anyways, fabric. So I'm part of the Pink Castle Fabric Art Gallery Fabric Monthly Fat Quarter Club. And this month, it was the Essentials 2 collection by Pat Bravo. It's only fold, so I can show you. I love this mustardy color. It's very pretty. I like what I'm doing. Usually I don't show these very well. Nice little polka dot, cool geometrics, great pinks and peaches. We're getting into some blues now. More mustard, stripes, florals. So when she does essentials, she does geometrics, she does circles, she does florals. So obviously, like I said before, I could make a quilt out of this sucker. I could usually make 2 quilts because this is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 fat quarters. Okay, so I can make 2 quilts out of this baby. I mean, if I'm making baby quilts, maybe even 3. But I would never do that. I would make 1 quilt using this collection, and then the rest of this I would either cut into strips so that I can use it for like a scrap quilt, or I would pick and choose other fabrics from my collection and make more quilts. But that's a lot of fabric. So that's another reason why I like this club, is that a lot of cool, inspiring things for me to work on if I ever had enough time. So that's it. That's all she wrote today. I appreciate everybody spending their time with me. I hope that you could probably tell I'm a little tired. It's been I don't even have makeup on right now. That's how awesome things are. You could probably hear my husband playing guitar in the background. I'm so sorry. I just realized that. He was listening to the Giants game, and then all of a sudden he's learning to play guitar. Actually getting pretty good, and he loves blues. So, anyways, I'm kind of rambling on right now. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Nope. I hope that you join me for the knit along, and I'll try to have prizes that I can display in my next podcast. If you are somebody who likes to donate towards prizes and you wanted to donate, you're more than welcome to contact me on Ravelry or on Instagram. And yeah, prizes are welcome. And I love to give out prizes. So in fact, the last one I was only going to give out 1. I ended up giving out 2. So that's it. I'm wiped. I'm going to relax, and I think I might do some spinning, and I hope you guys have a great rest of, well, by the time I post this, it'll be Sunday night. So I hope you have a great week coming up. Happy Tax Day. And I'll see you soon. Maybe if everything works out great, I'll put a podcast next week. That would be a bonus because it's usually every other week. All right. Take care, guys.